Hi Libra, happy November. So, you guys just had your solar return. That's a big deal to me. That's a bigger deal than like, the typical New Year when everyone has all of their goals and everything planned out that they want to do and everybody gets all crazy and then it slowly starts to fade throughout the year. But yeah, I have a tendency to think the solar return is even more important. It's about taking a look at the past year and looking at, things that you don't want to do anymore, things that no longer serve you, versus the things that work for you and the things that you want to accomplish coming in. So I have no doubt that the majority of you are on that level right now, working towards some of that goals, hopefully releasing some of those things from the past that haven't served you and working on positive motivational things and heading in the right direction. I don't know. I feel really kind of excited for Libra this month. I feel like celebrating with you guys for having gotten through whatever you've been through in the past year and taking a look at new opportunities coming forward. I don't know. It's like when I thought about doing the video for Libra, I just got excited. Just kind of like, yeah, Libra, and I'm such a weirdo. And I love my Libra friends because they get that about me. They're like, yeah, go ahead, be weird, and they just kind of chill out and laugh. I love Libras. You guys are so chill. I need your stability with all my crazy weirdness and razzle dazzle jazz hands. I need my stable, fair Libras. So let's see what you guys have going on for the month of November. This is my favorite time of year. Love it. Okay, so first off, we have the Knight of Swords. Very libertarian. Ten of Rods. Ace of Pentacles, and I'll show you the cards in a second too. Eight of Swords. Page of Rods. And the Knight of Rods. Interesting, interesting. All right, give me a second, Libra. I'm just going to review. I feel like you guys are having a little bit of a stuck feeling in some ways, a little bit of feeling a little overwhelmed and trying to look for prospects on how to get out of that situation, which again is like kind of what your solar return symbolizes, right? Things that, you might not really care for in life and kind of how to move forward and how to get out of that. So let's go through the cards. First card we have is the Knight of Swords. And this particular knight on this card looks a little bit, I don't know, ominous for some reason, but he's not, really an ominous character. But generally, the Knight of Swords represents swift communication. If it's not representing a person, and I don't particularly see the knights necessarily representing people as much as they do energies. This is all about swift communication, swift information coming in. And then right underneath it, we have the Ten of Rods, which is the burden card. This is the card of being like tired and overwhelmed and just carrying too much on your shoulders. Typically this card does show someone carrying like those 10 rods on their shoulders. It's just a heavy load to bear, right? With the Knight of Swords, on top of the, if I can get these cards right, on top of the 10 of Rods, I feel like there's some kind of communication coming in that's going to give you a little bit of clarity on this burden. Let's see what the other cards are to try to get some more clarification on that situation. Next, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, this is all about new opportunities coming in on a tangible material level. And when I say opportunities, I really do mean it's about opportunities. You have to keep your eyes open for this. In this particular card, it shows her kind of, it's almost like, she's bearing the pentacle, but, it's so that it will grow and blossom into something more, right? It's almost like, look at what I found and look at what I'm going to do with it. So definitely time to keep your eyes open for new opportunities, either maybe even job-wise. That's an interesting perspective. Maybe financially. And the whole point would be to kind of get you out of this situation here, right? Get you out of this situation here, right? Maybe some kind of information swiftly is coming through that helps kind of eliminate this feeling of burden, right? Whether it be financial or physical, whatever the situation is that's causing you to feel overwhelmed. There's some kind of swift communication coming in. And I think you guys are able to see it for what it is. And that's an opportunity to maybe even financially remove some of those burdens that you may have. Right underneath the Ace of Pentacles, you've got the Eight of Swords. Now, this is typically a card of feeling trapped. But because it's swords represent mental energy, our ego, what's going on in our head. And in this particular card, you can see that she's perfectly fine, but she's standing there staring in the mirror, and the way she sees herself is as someone who's tied up and not able to go anywhere. So I highly suggest that you guys take advantage of this Ace of Pentacles and not be afraid. Not be afraid of change. I have to say something when it comes to this Ten of Rods. Sometimes we're just like a glutton for punishment, right? Sometimes, even though this looks horrible in this whole situation, sometimes it's almost like we get stuck in victim mentality a little bit. It's just because we're used to it. And as horrible as it may be, there's a comfort to things that we're used to. And stepping out of bounds and taking a risk on something brand new is actually sometimes kind of challenging. And maybe you just feel like, I don't know, maybe you just feel like for some reason that you're not strong enough for this opportunity, or you can't, or you're stuck in whatever situation you're currently in and there's no way out. Yeah, I've got news for you, Libra. There is a way out, and a lot of it just has to do with courage. A lot of it just has to do with understanding that, you're not going to know everything that lies ahead, but you know what? You can somehow find a way to make it better than what it currently is, because this isn't cutting it. That's not cutting it. So even if you're taking a risk and stepping outside of your comfort zone, I mean, and this could be in regards to any situation in your life, really. It just needs to be done, because this is not tolerable. The 10 is the limits, right? It's the end of the cycle. This is just not a tolerable energy. And for that matter, neither is this. You shouldn't have to feel like this. I think that you guys, looking at the next cards, I think that you guys are going to be able to overcome that mental blockage that makes you think that you just can't. And the reason I'm saying that, I feel like you guys are going to be overcoming that because you have the Page of Cups, or Page of Rods, excuse me. And the Page of Rods, I mean, if you look at him, he's looking out towards the horizon. He's looking out over that fence. He's looking past the boundaries, and he's interested in what's going on out there and all the possibilities. And the pages kind of have like a young spirit about them. You know, they kind of have a young, adventurous, kind of curious spirit to them. And so I feel like you guys are tired of being restricted and feeling restricted and overburdened. And you're curious. You're starting to get that curiosity about what lies beyond, right? Because we've already seen what's inside of the fence. We want to see what's out there. And then right underneath that, you have the Knight of Rods, which again, knights are very swift moving energy. So you go from being curious to just saying, screw it, I'm going to go for it. You know? I love it. I love it. It's like when Libra makes up when they, you guys have that, weighing the scales thing. Should I? Shouldn't I? Oh, I don't know, But I feel like when you guys really decide to go for something, when you've made up your mind, you just do it. So I feel like you guys are just kind of tired of this energy here. You've had it. You're kind of over it. You're tired of feeling stuck. And there's communication in regards to an opportunity that's coming your way. Swift communication comes in and says, hey, by the way, take a look at this. And Libra starts to think about it and starts to envision it and starts to think, well, I wonder what that would be like, right? I wonder what the other side looks like. And I tell you what, yet again, when Libra makes up their mind, they're full-fledged, like all in it. Let's do this. Let's get her done. And again, I feel like that's that kind of like solar return power and inspiration and creativity that you guys are getting this month. You're taking a look at situations that you don't really care for anymore, and you guys are ready for that new start. Is it a little bit intimidating? Yeah, change is intimidating. It just is. But I think you guys are down. I think you're down for it. Let's get some clarifiers really quick. Just out of curiosity, let's get a clarifier for the Knight of Swords and the Ten of Rods. We have the Queen of Fire, which is the Queen of Rods. Awesome. Yeah, you guys are all about, rods are all about like action and creativity and go time, enthusiasm, inspiration. And so now you have the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands in here. So I'll read you the description on here. Confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. I mean, if that doesn't kind of sum it up, it's kind of like an advice card when you're looking at this Ten of Rods and the Knight of Swords. It's kind of clarifying that, right? Because this is what you want. Here's the picture. I don't think that these pictures really relate that well, but I love what they say. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. Yes. Because who wants to do this shit? Nobody. Nobody, Libra. You gotta be. Stretch your wings and fly. Like, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that for you guys this month. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't feel like the girl in the mirror who can't do it. You guys can do it. Let's get clarification on the Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. Forgot a card over here. Ace of Pentacles and Eight of Swords. New possibilities. New tangible possibilities. Five of Water, or Five of Cups. This says things not turning out the way you'd hope, not seeing the positive in a situation, crying over spilled milk. Interesting that this is the clarifier. Now this is an issue. And here's why I say that. Five of Cups, and it is really, Five of Cups is about crying over spilled milk. It's about looking at things from the past and just, a common Five of Cups card is someone looking down at three spilled cups, right? And they're mourning over it, and oh, look at what I lost. In the meantime, they have two completely full cups, perfect cups right behind them, but they're not focused on that. They're focused on the cups that have spilled. So I'm asking you guys to be careful about that this month. I'm asking you to keep your eye on the ball. I'm asking you to focus on the ace, to focus on the opportunities versus focusing on the things that have been lost or the things that didn't work out the way that you expected them to. Instead of focusing on that, focus on what's coming in, because I have to tell you guys, if you're too focused on things that have been lost and things in the past, guess what that causes? Depression, because you can't do anything about it. You can't do anything to change it. It's already happened. And if we focus too much about what's going to happen in the future, guess what that causes? Anxiety, because we can't control what's going to happen in the future. What we can do is be present enough and open enough to see what's happening right now in the moment. And the only way that you guys are going to see this opportunity coming in is if you're present and you've got your eyes up and looking around versus looking at what happened in the past. Really important message this month, you guys. I mean, I think it's really crucial. It's really crucial this month for you guys to be present and forward thinking and not be held back by things in the past, because you know what? Those things just aren't working for you anymore, Libra. And definitely with your solar return here, it's time to let that go and move forward. And I think you guys get that. I really do think you do, but that's the word of the caution. That's the word of caution for this month is really try not to focus on disheartening things from the past or things lost in the past. It does you no good. It's important to learn lessons from things that have happened to us, yes, but then we have to let them go and we have to move on and we have to look at our life in the right here and the right now to really take advantage of those opportunities coming in. So I have the clarifier for the Page of Rods and the Knight of Rods. And it is the Five of Air, which is the Five of Swords. And it says, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. So there's a little bit of a warning at the same time, too, here in regards to these two cards, because these are very, one's kind of curious, and he's like, what's out there? And then you've got the Knight of Rods, who just goes like freaking charging in, like no holds bar. And the Knight of Rods, as courageous and excited and enthusiastic as he is, doesn't necessarily always think before he leaps. And so the cautionary advice here as well is, definitely be open to new opportunities and look towards the future and make sure that you're aware of things coming in. But also don't be too hasty to jump into a situation without putting some thought and consideration into it. I think that's an important aspect as well. Because with the Ace of Pentacles, again, this is new opportunities and new beginnings. But if you kind of look at the situation in this card, and I know I keep on showing it over and over again, but for some reason it's really, kind of just like a focus to me. I mean, she's planting the seed. Right? It's a seed. Well, seeds take a little bit of time to grow. It's not going to become like a beanstalk freaking overnight. it takes a little bit of nourishment, a little bit of time. And so there's that cautionary advice also, that you guys don't go rushing into something this month just because you're so tired of this and you're so tired of this that you're like, man, anything has to be better. So I think that the two there's a couple different points of advice. I think if you guys can center yourself and remain present and not focus on the past, you'll be open to more opportunities coming into you. At the same time, don't get overly excited and go jump into a situation that you haven't fully considered yet. So I think that this month is ripe for opportunity for you guys. I think that you do have the energy of the Queen of Fire, and that you should stretch your wings and fly, and that you should not underestimate yourself, and that you should keep your eyes on your goals, and that you should use your creativity to do so. I just think it's a good month for opportunities. And it's a good month to relieve yourself from past pressures and be forward thinking. So let's get an advice card for you. Let's pull an advice card for you guys. Let's see what we come up with. I love these cards. They're so inspirational and so, I don't know, they're almost like therapeutic. It's called Postcards from Spirit. Love it. See what we pull out for you guys. This is an interesting reading. I mean, it does have some challenges, and there are some things that you need to keep focused on and keep in mind and be a little bit careful about. But it's also asking you to expand and open your horizons at the same time. Now, I think you guys have that right kind of balance to be able to pull this off. You really do. I don't know. I think you guys are pretty smart about it too. You know, you just got to remain centered and focused on what's really important, and realize that you have to take the right amount of time to get there. Let's see what your advice card is. Dearest you, there are times you get lost but refuse to see your part in things. Happens to everyone. Something feels familiar but sort of off. If you're feeling confused, it's best to throw away that map you're using, which only lets you navigate based on your past experiences. That isn't what you need right now. Instead, take a deep breath and open to the truth. A desire to stay in denial means that part of you doesn't want to be responsible for the pattern that's shown up in your life. Yes, this is the right time to wake up and start again. By the way, you will always get another chance. You have unlimited chances to start again. We love you so much, we really do. Be gentle with yourself. Coming out of denial is like being temporarily blinded by super bright lights. Allow your eyes to adjust. Carry on, special one. A beautiful life awaits. Loving you so much. If that doesn't kind of tie everything up, I don't know what does. Yeah. I mean, it's all about kind of like releasing yourself from that stuck feeling, and it's kind of like growing pains a little bit. Honestly, it's kind of like growing pains. It's that transitional phase, you know, from coming from a place of being kind of feeling stuck, but being so used to it that it just becomes habit, and kind of getting out of that, right? And I don't know, it's like when you've been looking down at those spilled cups, and all of a sudden, like, you lift your eyes up and you realize that there's a whole world around you. And it's kind of like, wow, what now? You know? I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's a really good month for you. I feel like it's a really needed month. I feel like you guys are definitely going to start opening your eyes up to new opportunities, and realize that there's more for you out there than the energy you've been stuck in. Maybe the energy you've been stuck in for a lot of this past year. It just needs to be left behind. You're capable of so much more than that. Life is so much more than that. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic November. Enjoy. See you next time.